Imagine, like you're standing in the middle of a massive, deafening city intersection.
Oh man, yeah, horns blaring, sirens just wailing everywhere.
Exactly. Hundreds of people rushing past. It's pure chaos. And then you spot this heavy wooden door, you push it open, and step inside a perfectly soundproofed room.
The silence is almost physical at that point.
Right. The noise just vanishes.
Your heart rate drops. It's an instant sanctuary.
Welcome to our deep dive. Today we're exploring how to find that exact kind of soundproofed room for your mind. We are looking at the spiritual teachings of Guru Arjan Dev Ji, specifically from page 630 of the Guru Granth Sahib.
Right, which, for those unfamiliar, is the central religious scripture of Sikhism.
Compiled centuries ago, but it reads like a remarkably modern roadmap for surviving today's chaotic world.
Yeah, our mission is to take these ancient concepts, like seeking the true guru and finding sanctuary, and translate them into practical tools for inner tranquility, especially when the world around you is just constantly shouting.
Okay, let's unpack this. The foundation of this roadmap is the promise that the true guru is the giver of all peace and comfort.
It's an invitation to step out of the chaos, basically.
But it isn't just about escaping noise, is it? The material brings up the concept of darshan.
Yes, often translated as the blessed vision.
Right, which supposedly dispels pain and brings true bliss.
Yeah, and what's fascinating here is that darshan isn't just seeing a vision with your physical eyes. It is a profound shift in perspective.
A shift in perspective, like how so?
Well, think about how pain often comes from our ego fighting reality. When you experience this blessed vision, when you zoom out to see the divine interconnectedness of everything, your ego naturally shrinks.
Oh, wow.
And when the ego shrinks, the pain attached to it just dissolves.
So, the soundproof room isn't just blocking out the world then. It's actively repairing the stress you brought inside.
Exactly.
But that raises a mechanical question for me. You don't just magically stumble into that mindset, right?
Yeah.
The teachings talk about needing to drink in the sublime essence of the divine.
Such striking metaphorical language.
It really is. And when I hear about drinking in essence today, I think of how we passively consume things.
Yeah.
Doom scrolling, binge watching.
Just sitting there with our mouths open, letting content wash over us.
Right. But this implies something entirely different, doesn't it? So what does this all mean? How does one actively drink a spiritual essence?
It is the exact opposite of passive consumption. To drink this essence, the text points to a practice known as nam japna.
Okay, and what does that actually entail?
It requires chanting and worshiping the name, or the name of the Lord, in adoration. It's about entering the sanctuary of the perfect guru through constant meditative mindfulness.
I've read about this kind of repetitive focus in modern neurology. When you constantly repeat a mantra or focus on a single word, you actually disrupt the brain's default mode network.
Oh, right, the network responsible for mind wandering.
Yeah, the one driving our chaotic, anxious thought.
Precisely. You aren't consuming a physical drink. You are neurologically and spiritually rewiring yourself to maintain divine awareness. It's the daily maintenance required to keep the walls of your soundproof room thick. If you don't actively reinforce that awareness, well, the city noise bleeds right back in.
The chanting is the soundproofing material. I love that. But here is where I struggle with this teaching a bit.
Oh, where do you get stuck?
Well, it claims this state of perfection is incredible, but then drops a massive caveat. It states that only one who has such preordained destiny receives it.
Ah, yes, the destiny aspect.
Right. He alone becomes perfect. That sounds like a VIP pass. Does that mean our spiritual peace is completely out of our hands? Like, if I'm not on the destiny list, why even bother building the room?
I see what you mean. But if we connect this to the bigger picture, it is not about exclusivity at all.
It's not.
No, it's a profound lesson in surrender. The text is pushing back against the human ego that says, I can force my way into enlightenment if I just try hard enough.
Ah, the type A personality approach to spirituality. I will meditate harder than anyone else and win at inner peace.
Exactly. But that attitude builds walls of ego, not walls of peace. This paradox is beautifully resolved at the end of the text with a humble prayer from Guru Nanak.
Right, notice what the prayer actually is. It isn't a demand for control.
Or an entitled request to be granted this high destiny.
No, it is simply a request to remain lovingly absorbed in the now. The focus shifts entirely from, how do I force myself to achieve perfection to how can I humbly accept this peace?
It's a total shift in posture.
Yeah, you're shifting from a contractor aggressively trying to build the room to a guest Just being grateful they were invited inside.
That's a perfect analogy.
For you listening, the practical takeaway here is that true peace is multifaceted. It involves the active effort of mindfulness, keeping the noise out,
Right.
but also adopting a deeply humble, lovingly absorbed posture.
It is the delicate balance between the active effort of namjapna and the quiet grace of acceptance.
Which leaves us with a fascinating tension to think about as you step back out into the noise of your day.
It really does.
If true spiritual tranquility requires both actively seeking a sanctuary and surrendering to a preordained destiny, well, how much of your own inner peace is a soundproof room you must actively build, and how much is a door you must simply let go of and allow to open?